headquarters of common sense.
Talk Radio.
Jeremy, great to talk to you. I'm sheltering from the weather. I'm at London Paddington Station, which is, as you will know, the main hub for trains to the west of England and to South Wales. Nothing running through the channel, through the Severn Tunnel into Wales. All trains in Wales are stopped. And very little actually going southwest from here either. I've been here since about 6. Massive cancellations right through the morning. And yes, exactly as you've been saying, the message from all the train operators is if you do not need to travel, then please stay at home. We're seeing things deteriorate almost by the minute. And while Transport for London is running a sort of half-decent service at the moment, we're expecting that to change in the around about lunchtime, and you could well find, particularly in the parts of the underground which are overground, if you see what I mean,
very good.
Which is most of the network, there will be problems there. I'm also seeing massive cancellations and diversions on flights. Now, the airlines were actually pretty late to say, oh, well, you know, we're cancelling things, but I've now counted more than 80 British Airways flights grounded, most of them in and out of Heathrow, some out of London City Airport. And goodness me, I'm glad I'm not a passenger on the EasyJet flight this morning from Bordeaux to Gatwick.
No.
It made 2 attempts at landing at the Sussex Airport. Then it went and held over the South Downs for about 15 minutes, and now it's flown back to France. Simply couldn't get in. Now, there are still many flights operating, British Airways in particular, trying to protect its long-haul schedules.
Yeah.
But of course, you've got to get to the airport. And frankly, I've seen many more trains from here to Heathrow Airport cancelled than I've seen trains actually running. The airlines all say allow plenty of time to get to the airport.
Simon, very, very thorough and lots to ask you, but I was expecting you on the end of a pier with the wind whistling, man. What are you doing undercover? You're supposed to be an expert, man. You should be out there in your yellow jacket.
Well, thank you very much. I've got the yellow jacket. I cycled into to Paddington this morning from my house across London, and I think I'll probably be walking back, but I'm going to keep my my bike helmet on because exactly. People shouldn't be out and about, and there's going to be loads of debris flying around.
And that's the important point, Si, isn't it? Can I just make that point? Because there's people who go, I mean, listen to this. Southerners, this is brilliant. There's a major storm coming. Stay home, stay off the roads, only essential journeys. Stay safe, you should be all right. Northerners, put a coat on. Southerners are soft. It's a bit of wind and water. What's the matter with you lot? Get a grip. What would you say to that, Si? Because it's real, isn't it? It is real. Oh, sure, yeah. Look, I mean, this is all about safety. Yeah.
The reason we're being told stay off the roads is because there are very serious dangers. Now, clearly much more so for high-sided vehicles and on those exposed crossings, some of which, like the Severn Bridge, like the QE2 bridge at Dartford, have already been closed.
Yeah. Absolutely.
High passes are going to be dangerous. And look, if they're cancelling trains, which is mainly because they're worried about debris on the tracks, I mean, trains can pretty much run in all weathers. Certainly don't go out and about in your car, or indeed, in my case, on your bicycle.
How long? We've talked, Si, about areas. It was Wales and then it spread up. You're certainly talking about that corridor from Paddington, southwest and south. The contingency plans, there's not a lot of contingency. How long are we expecting this to cover? Some of the Met Office information is just a matter of few hours. Of course, the problem is there was Storm Dudley before, which has knocked out many people's power in the north. How long do we envisage this continuing, my friend?
OK, well, look, already Bristol Airport, for instance, lots of cancellations this morning, as you would expect. But Jet2 has said, right, well, our holiday flights to Tenerife and to Turkey, we're just going to fly them this afternoon because we think the storm will have gone through by then. But exactly as you suggest, it's the residual damage. Things like overhead power lines. When they come down, it is a really serious issue. And we saw quite a lot of that actually on the West Coast main line last night. Whenever all the tracks need to be checked, which is one reason why all trains in Wales have been cancelled cancelled for the day, and those will be coming back in. I mean, the train operators are saying, don't make your journey today. If you've got a ticket for today, then we will carry you tomorrow, no problem. You don't need to rebook or anything. Some of them are even saying you can use your ticket halfway through next week. They just really don't want you to travel. And of course, lots of things happening or not happening, in the sense that half-term week, people might be thinking, oh, let's go to Legoland, let's go to the London Eye.
Right, yeah, London Eye.
Those are all closed.
Si, loads of people to get on. Just one question for you. I really appreciate it, but I want to have you back on before 10 o'clock. I want the wind whistling round those ears of yours. A Twitter question. Can you ask the legend that is Simon Calder, does he think the government will finally scrap the useless passenger locator forms in the next review?
I think it's unlikely. They have held on to this horrible Kafkaesque form, 20 online pages. It's been slightly simplified. All they've promised is that they will simplify it still further, but it's still a complete pain. And it's interesting, Jeremy, and I absolutely sympathise with your questioner. There's countries across the world are saying, actually, yeah, we don't need all this information. Thanks very much. We're not going to do the form anymore. But it's one of those things. Bureaucracy has had a pretty good crisis. And you know what governments are like. Once they've got information, once they've got it coming in, they want to keep it there. So that's going to stay. But of course, gradually easing rules across the UK and the rest of Europe. So the trend is definitely going in the right direction. The flipping paperwork isn't.
Simon Calder, always a pleasure. And who'd have thought we'd have been back on air after all these years, me old friend. Stay safe and don't ride that bike back across London.
Good talk.
Hot talk. Bold talk. Talk radio.
Listen on your smart speaker.
Watch it live on your smart TV.
The world headquarters of common sense.
Talk Radio.